Our favorite douchebaggery guy, you know what I mean, so to speak. He always
I
gets a
like
lot
that
of hate.
douchebaggery. That's a good one.
You know what I mean? He gets a lot of hate sometimes, but he rarely gets love, and we know for the reasons, right? And we're gonna point him out during this conversation right now. Stephen A. Smith, right? You know, homie with the fucking the loud voice, always fucking sounding like he's yelling and all sounding crazy. But you know, he recently was on Patrick Bet David, and you know he asked him a good question. I'm gonna play the clip shortly too. He asked him about like how does he take some of his criticism, right? And how does he react to it? Because you know, obviously, Stephen A. Smith, you know, being a black gentleman, does get criticized and ridiculed by minority, community and black people as well. Puerto Ricans, I don't fucking criticize him to the fullest as well, b. But he responded back saying, you know, he feels like it's disrespectful, right? Like he needs uh his own community to feel like they should have his back. I know we all know and seen throughout the years, especially with Stephen A. Smith, where we felt like that shit was not reciprocated, right? Like we can all name key moments and we'll discuss it a little bit further, but that's basically what he was saying. Like he ain't scared of it or he doesn't back down from it, but he just feels like his community doesn't have his back. Jump into the clip.
Go
And
ahead, Jay. Get him.
I've watched you 20 years,
Yeah.
and I've seen when the black community comes after you, and it gets uncomfortable for you. You're very comfortable in every single situation I've seen you in, except when the black community comes after you.
Yeah.
And part of it is I'm Armenian, I'm Assyrian, so I understand heritage.
Yes.
And this is who I am. This is my identity. I totally get it. Is there a level of responsibility or fear where you feel like, hey, and when it comes down to color and it comes down to this, it's color before America. It's color before good policies. Do you see it that way?
No.
Or no?
No, I don't have fear is not the word. I'm not scared. What I would tell you is that when my own community has come after me in the past, it's hurt. There's genuine pain because I know how much I love my black people. I know what we've endured. I know what personal sacrifices I've made in my career just to help my community. And when that is ignored, when that is glossed over, when there's this pretension that it didn't happen, it hurts because it's like, wait a minute, I could have shut my mouth, kept quiet, collected the dollars, and been on my damn way.
Man. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't hear y'all. Yo, Q, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, real quick, man, I'm disappointed in I'm fucking with you. I'm disappointed in L and J, man. Y'all supposed to let the people know what's really going on, man. Stephen A is the biggest fucking coon in the world, man. And don't tell me he's a contrarian or that shit. He purposely tries to tear black athletes down, man. He did it with Colin Kaepernick right in the middle of Colin Kaepernick taking the knee, trying to shine a light on police brutality. He tore him down day after day on air. He did it with Kyrie with the vax when Kyrie, was standing on his square, not wanting to take the vax, which was his God-given right to not want to put something in his body like that. And by the way, the CDC has come out and said that bullshit vaccine doesn't do shit for COVID. So Stephen A. went on TV every single day and eviscerated him, calling him a sellout, calling him a bad teammate, calling him selfish. And he does the white man's work, man. Did the same thing with Kevin Durant, as Rob mentioned. And my whole thing is, like you said, keep the energy. And I had to get this off my chest, pause. Keep the energy, because the other day when Elon Musk said that Trump is on the Epstein list and they had Stephen A. Smith about it, what did Stephen A. Smith say? there's not enough evidence in this whole tone change. We have not enough evidence in right now to even talk about it. You swept it under the rug. What happened when Jerry Jones got caught with those, those racial pictures came up, about for Jerry Jones back in the days, you know what I'm saying? What did Stephen A. do? Nothing. Swept it under the rug. Oh, Jerry Jones is my friend. And talk very soft voice when he's talking about the white man, you know what I'm saying? When Josh Giddey came up with the whole, the underage girl thing, what did he do? We don't have enough evidence yet. You know what I'm saying?
So how are you disappointed in me?
He can't hear
from
us,
the top
right?
of his lungs from the highest tree in the land, trying to tear him down. But anytime it's a white athlete or somebody like that, he always wants to gather up more evidence. And the tone and the energy ain't the
Disappointed in
same.
me when he just regurgitated exactly what I was saying. I just stated it a little bit differently. I stated it the same way in the first diatribe that I gave, and then I doubled down and stated it again in the second diatribe. I think my sentiments on this are gonna surprise you. I understand what he's saying when he says that. I remember we have to take a look at one of the well, a few things, but one of the things, Stephen A is a big HBCU guy, and he's really into the black community. He really is, and he does a lot for the black community, unbeknownst to a lot of people. But even deeper than that, he's from Jamaica, Queens. He's black at the end of the day. He came up, he got his bag, and he's making decisions. And everyone's not going to like your decisions when you get to a certain point. Or people love you more when you're going after something than once you accomplish it. And
Definitely.
and as he rose through stardom and he got on his incline, people had a lot more love for him. People had a lot more support for him. People had a lot more. They embraced him a lot more. But the problem is, and it's not really a problem, it's reality. Once you accomplish something, there's a responsibility, an innate survivor responsibility to protect it. And all of your decisions are not going to be congruent with your constituents, with the people that were supportive of you during that ascension to whatever position you're in. So I understand his frustration, and I understand the pain, because he has to look at it through two lenses. If he makes one decision, then it could be detrimental to everything that he's tried to accomplish and where he's at this moment in his career, and it could topple that castle that he's tried to create. If he makes the other decision, he appears to be a sellout, and everybody's like, "Yo, he's just capitulating to white America, and he's making himself look like a jackass to the black people." So he has a responsibility to remain black, but also be intelligent in regards to his business and his brand with the way he supports certain things. Now, granted, I don't like and this is the flip side to that coin, and I'll keep it brief. I don't like the fact that he makes it his business to accentuate mistakes by black people, and I feel like he makes those bigger than he does when he goes after, or not goes after, but when he highlights mistakes of white athletes or other players of various other races.
Is Steven a sellout? I would say no more than any entertainer in his position. A lot of times the word sellout has been accompanied by the word coon when it comes to Stephen A. Smith. Now, coon is like, what the hell is a coon, right? He's like, now we're getting another, like, what the hell is a coon? Like, yeah, he's a coon. All right. So I had to look it up. Like, what does a coon? This is what they say about a coon. They said, the name itself, an abbreviation of raccoon, is dehumanizing. As with Sambo, the coon was portrayed as a lazy, easily frightened, chronically idle, inarticulate buffoon. Okay, so let's just stop right there. Stephen Smith is none of those things. Okay, so we can't, in the traditional sense of what a coon, what we know a coon to be, he is not that. Like, to speak to what Jay said, he does plenty for the community. Now, I think the problem started with Stephen Smith is when he started taking meetings with Trump, people that the so-called quote unquote black community. I don't use that term black, by the way. I melanated, melanin dominant, black as a color. The guy's not a coon, man. He's not a coon, man. He's just a loudmouth, and he says he's very opinionated. He says what
And what he said, I read a quote from him. He said, "I'm not a sellout. I just say what needs to be said."
He hasn't paid his dues. Stephen A's problem is that he gets up on that platform and he speaks on behalf of all of us. And sometimes that ain't our opinion. And he goes, I'm as a black man, I know, and but black people, when you that loud and you're that direct, you're speaking for all of us, and all of us don't agree with you. So when you say the community, it hurts when the community doesn't agree with you. You should probably tap in with some of the things you say and how you speak about people on your platform. I can't remember who it was. Like it was the way he said something that would make an athlete not want to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you get up on here and your daddy is the only reason. Such as like, first of all, we all know your father. You're that artist. You could say my father, but you say daddy, kind of little niggas, whoever you're talking about in any sense of the word, and he's smart enough to know that. You know what I'm saying? When he's talking crazy about people like Kevin Durant, that's a cowardice move. You can't insult somebody and then try to wipe the insult off by saying, but he's also a superstar. You're saying what you say to these black athletes. You don't talk like that about, like Jay said earlier, about certain white athletes. You know what I'm saying? Now, does he get on his platform and speak on behalf of matters of the black community or the melanated community? Absolutely, he does. So I can't say that he doesn't stand up when he needs to stand up, but he should not be surprised when he feels like he's not getting 100% support from his people when the way with the vitriol you use and the language you use when you speak about your people. You know what I'm saying? There's certain athletes. There's no reason why Stephen A. Smith shouldn't be able to sit down with LeBron James. But you know what? When you're on your show and you're looking for a hot take, you're looking for something people to click on because this is your job, and you start talking about the man's son. You know what I'm saying? There's different ways that you could talk about. Hey, listen, I feel like there's a bit of nepotism going on here. I think LeBron's son may grow into something. There's a better way you could do it. But he knows that the way he speaks and the words he uses, the tone he uses, it's triggering, and that's not something that he's doing by mistake. That's something that you learn. That's how being a loudmouth schnook is what got him brought through the ranks in the first place. Because Cold Pizza with him and Skip Bayless, they needed somebody that was black enough and loud enough and opposite enough to outtalk Skip, and those two were the perfect balance. Which is probably why in First Take now you have a rotating co-host, because the stability in that particular show for me for First Take was Skip, because Skip will show you take your glass. Don't you? No, he Skip was cocky and white enough to match his arrogant black arrogance, and that was a perfect match. Now that's just Stephen A. He doesn't allow his guests to talk. He tries to sun everybody like he's really that man. Even when people have a point and they're correct, he goes, "I would agree with everything you said, but I gotta go somewhere else with it." Like, yo, he has to be a contrarian, and this coming from somebody who, like I said, he's self-proclaimed. He's made himself the voice of the black community from ESPN, as if there aren't any other black co-hosts. Nobody asked you to be that. We don't all agree with your statement, or you know what I'm saying. And you got to know that. But he's made himself that way. His loudness, nothing wrong with being loud and proud. You know what I'm saying. Stephen A. Smith has worked his way to where he needs to be. He's legendary journalist, sports analyst. He's legendary. There's no doubt about any of that. But in my head, he shouldn't be surprised at his reception. He should take that shit on a grain of salt like Charlemagne the God does.